What is up, rookies? We're about to jump into the motorcycle familiarization section. This is going to be lesson 2 from unit 2. Now, if you thought about what motorcycle you want, these are going to be some of the particulars that you're going to need to know when it comes to the actual motorcycle. Okay, so we're going to talk about that. Rookies will be able to identify the motorcycle components. Okay, we got primary controls, secondary controls, all these other things. We're going to talk about that. So primary controls, handlebars, clutch lever, all those things. This is your knowledge section. We're going to be learning all of these things. Lots to do. Lots to do. But here's your skill set right here. You'll be able to define the purpose of each control. You'll be able to locate primary, second controls on your own bike. So if you don't have one, go to the dealership and start finding them there. All right. So the motorcycle's components and controls. Okay, if you don't have much experience on a motorcycle yet, all the different lever switches, meters, you've probably seen up to this point might look a little confusing. So that's why we're going to get into there with that familiarization, okay? So here's the thing. The most common motorcycle has a gas-powered engine, which, who knows, might go to electric soon, and a manual transmission, which, who knows, with electric might go to automatic. So this might be updated soon. Anyways, primary controls. This is a big one. This is the primary thing you need to be really focused on. Primary controls is basically what gets you going and what will keep you going, okay? So the change the direction of your motorcycle, how fast it travels, how much power the engine creates, and how that power is applied. All right, handlebars. Pretty simple. If you have a bicycle, you know what the handlebars do. Okay, this is direct steering. We're going to talk a little bit about counter steering and stuff, but direct steering, okay? So the direction of the motorcycle, and it does have quite a bit of features on the handlebars. That's where your hands go. So on the left side of the motorcycle, so with your left hand, the clutch lever. Now this one right here is a massive primary control. The clutch lever basically takes power and gives power to that rear wheel. Once it's squeezed, it removes power from that rear wheel. Once you let it go or let it out, it gives it all to the rear wheel. So when you give it throttle and you squeeze in that clutch lever, no power from that throttle is going to that rear wheel. If you let it go, boom, really quick. And we're going to talk about friction zones so you know how to do it nice and smooth. Very important for safety. It's important for shifting because it is needed for shifting. Up and down, all that stuff. You need to be able to remove power from that rear wheel, shift, and give it back. Okay? Lots to do with this. This is your favorite friend on your motorcycle. I love this more than the throttle and everything else. I really do. So throttle right here, wow, pretty rainy. It's pretty dangerous. What kind of factors are out there, right? Situation awareness, pop quiz? No, we're not going to do that. Anyways, this is going to change the speed of your motorcycle. It's pretty simple. It's like in a car, the gas, you're going to push that pedal. Well, we have that throttle. So it's on the handlebar and it's going to be able to rotate. Now, this is the difference between the left side, where this hand is, and the right side. On the right side, it twists, the handle twists, and that's your throttle. On this side, it doesn't twist. So this one is nice and stiff, and then your right hand, which I'm doing this, is going to be that throttle. Very important. You want to be smooth on that. You don't want to give too much power to that rear wheel and go woo, wheelie, okay? Very important. Primary control. Clutch lever, throttle. Also front brake lever. Now this is going to be on the right side, right next to that throttle. You're going to reach over and that's that brake lever. Very important for progressive braking, very important for emergency braking. So you're going to squeeze it. Now on the clutch lever, you can squeeze it and it's very easy. There's no resistance. On the brake lever, there is resistance. You're going to squeeze. It's going to feel like it's going to fight you because it wants to stay where it's at, but you're squeezing it to slow it down and squeeze the brake pads. So you're squeeze, 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 squeeze. So that one's actually going to be harder to squeeze than the clutch lever. That's how you differentiate, just like the throttle and not the throttle. Very important to squeeze it gently, smoothly, and you can do it quickly as long as it's gently and smoothly. Okay? We'll talk more about that. The rear brake pedal. So just like in a car, you're going to put your right foot on that brake and boom, you got brakes. Here, it's your right foot and it's going to be applying on a lever, and it's only the rear brake. So the front brake lever up here is going to do for the front brake, the front tire. This is for the rear brake, rear tire. Very important to understand that. Right next to your right foot, okay? Gear shift lever, this is going to be on your left foot. So right now we have clutch lever left hand, we have throttle right hand, and front brake lever right hand. We have rear brake lever right foot, now our left foot. So anyways, the gear shift lever is going to be down and then up, 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 and down, 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 down. Okay, we'll talk more about what gears are what, but you're going to be moving it up and down, whatever gear you need. But now we're going to talk about secondary controls, and as you can see, the horn, lights, and all that other stuff, okay? So several other buttons and switches are visible across your motorcycle's front. Check your motorcycle owner's manual for a comprehensive list because every motorcycle is going to be a little bit different, okay? Harleys are a little bit different than Indians. Yamaha's a little bit different than Honda, so you're going to want to look at your owner's manual to get a generalized where's everything, but you're going to understand kind of what each thing is from this lesson. So the engine cutoff switch or engine shutoff switch, whatever it is you want to call it, it's going to be that red thing right there. You flip that switch and it'll shut off the engine, shut off the bike. Okay, electricity might still be going, but the actual motor will stop with that. So ignition, so it's going to be that key right there. You're going to find it. It's just like in a car if you have a key with a car, but here's the thing. It's going to be on, off. You can either lock it to and then park sometimes. So the lock is going to usually lock the steering column in a certain way, but the on-off is pretty common. You don't want to leave it on and then not start the engine and just walk away. Your battery will die, just like in a car. So some motorcycles have a separate key slot meant to lock the column. So you can either have it there, or it's gonna be like on the stem, on the forks, where you actually can turn it, and it's gonna lock the handlebars in a turn, so people can't really wheel it away. They're gonna wheel in circles, but some people actually just pick up the bike and steal it. So very important to pay attention to that. But it's mainly just the on-off. It's mainly just the on-off. So turn signals. Pretty simple, pretty self-explanatory. Everyone hates car drivers because they don't use them, so make sure we actually do. Turn signals, we have them on the front and the back. Some states don't require them, like Arizona, but the thing is, use them, use them, use them. We talked about situational awareness and lights blinking, okay? So they're on the back and they're on the front. Usually on the left side where it comes to your thumb on what button to push, okay? So it's usually on the left side, or Harley's is left and right. It's really weird. Find the turn signal button. Anyways, here we go. So dashboards on cars, they have a lot of stuff. Well, on motorcycles, you have a small little section. It's either going to be a TFT display, which is going to be that electronic display just like this, or analog, digital, whatever it is. And you're going to have to know what it is on your display. So research your owner's manual and figure out what each little thing means, like what this means. The N usually means neutral, and that's what we're going to talk a little bit in the future. So here's the horn. Now, when I talked about the turn signals, you can actually see that right there. The arrow left, the arrow right, and that little center spot is going to be the hazard lights. So you switch it left and right. There it is. Okay. So horn. Horns, I don't use it very often. Very weak. If you get an aftermarket air horn, go ahead and do that. But kind of weak. But there's a horn. So just like on a car, when you honk, same thing. Honk with your thumb. So if you notice, if you have your hands on the handlebar, you can use your thumb to touch everything. And that's by purpose and that's by design. They don't want you to get your hands off the handlebars to touch things. So we got the high and low beam right over there. That's on the right side, right there. There you go. High beams, low beams. You want to use your high beams when you're out in the middle of nowhere and you can't see very much with your low beams. Put on your high beams so you can see. You do not want to be blinding car drivers, so don't use it too often in town. Turn them down when you're approaching somebody so you don't blind them and they accidentally hit you, okay? Operating lights. So we have the headlights, turn signals, tail lights, brake lights. All these lights add to your visibility. We talked about making sure that you are highly visible. Lights and motion and even flashes are very good to grab somebody's attention. Utilize your lights. Now, headlights on motorcycles, they're always on, always on. So low beams are always on. High beams is what you have to actuate. So as you notice, I'm in the daytime here and it's on. I can't turn it off. So that's going to be an aftermarket thing. If you want to turn it off, I don't see a reason to. It's another thing that's going to make you visible. So mirrors, very important to use your mirrors. We talked about that 360 situation awareness. You're looking forward, you're looking at your mirrors, doing the head checks. It gives you that 360 situation awareness. There's aftermarket mirrors you can change. I like to keep the ones that are nice and big, rabbit ear looking things just like this. They're kind of sticking out like rabbit ears and gives you the best visibility possible. You want to keep your mirrors. Utilize your mirrors. Okay? All right. Side stand or center stand. So we got this right here. This is a side stand. The center stand usually goes underneath, has a little 2 hooks, and the bike's able to sit up on top of that. You usually find that on dual sport, adventure touring, sometimes off-road, sometimes street. It's usually an aftermarket thing, but the main thing is usually that dual sport. So it's pretty cool. I like them. It allows you to clean your chain, change your tire, all that stuff really easy. So side stands. This is going to keep your bike upright when you're not on it. So you make sure you put that side stand or kickstand, people call it kickstands on bikes, but this is a side stand, it's on the side. Make sure that side stand is down before you get off. Make sure it's secure before you get off. Usually these have a sensor in them, just like the engine cutoff switch. So if you're sitting on your motorcycle and you're about to go, and then you put it in first gear, boom, it shuts off. What the heck is going on? You might want to check your side stand. Now we have the electric start button. So you turned your key on, and now it's time to actually start the motorcycle. Making sure you have the clutch in, you're going to go ahead and press that electric start button. You can tell what it is because it has a little lightning bolt on it, and that is what's going to actually start the motorcycle. That's what's going to start it. So it's just like the buttons and the start, or actually turning it in a car, okay? So speedometer, boom, right there. Odometer, boom, right there. So speedometer is a meter for speed. An odometer is a meter for odo. Speedometer is a meter for speed. It's going to tell you what the speed you're going at. Odometer is going to tell you how many miles you have on that motorcycle. So it displays the total miles traveled on your motorcycle. Many have modes that can reset manually or after filling up your gas tank, allowing you to gauge the distance you can travel on a full tank of gas. So you usually have trip A, trip B. I like to utilize trip A as when I fill up, I reset trip A. How long does it take me to have to fill up again? 100 miles? Okay, cool. So I utilize the odometer for a tool as assessment and training and everything. So think about that. Tachometer. Once again, it meters your tax. No, it's going to be the RPMs, engine RPM. So you see 1, 2, 3, all the way to the red line. So you do not want a red line. There's that red area over there. Your bike. That's going to make your engine run super hard, super hot for no freaking reason. There's absolutely no reason to do that. But this is going to help you out when it comes to shifting. If you utilize RPMs for shifting or feel, it might be a little different. Another tool, another thing for you to understand. Lots to go on, right? Lots to go on. So here we go. We talked about neutral a little bit. So there may be a variety of other gauges on your motorcycle's instrument cluster. They may indicate what your high beams are on, so it's usually like a blue light, and that's usually a high beam. Neutral is usually the green N. I don't trust those all the time, though, okay? I don't trust them all the time. Sometimes they can go faulty, but it's a good indicator. Also, oil pressure, how much fuel's in your tank. Sometimes you have all that, sometimes you don't, but lots of cool information on this. So, the march of technology. All right, this is the biggest thing. When I did talk about electric bikes, I did talk about, this might be going away, the automatics, all these different things. But fisheye mirrors, analog brake systems, traction control systems, lean angle traction control systems, lean angle ABS, wheelie mitigation, there's rain mode, there's so many different things. And this is where you have to look at your motorcycle and what features it actually has on that motorcycle. Usually high-end, high-tech motorcycles have like multiple modes, analog brakes, a bunch of different things. Usually the lower end, the entry-level motorcycles don't have a lot of those things, but every motorcycle does have a set of handlebars. But the major stuff that's happening now, oh my gosh, so much going on. So do your research here, learn about it, and there's a lot of stuff here you don't need, and there's a lot of stuff here that you might want. Okay, rider aids like ABS, very important. I don't need a TPMS system. I'll just check my tires before I ride. Automatic transmission. Hey, it might be fun to teach a new rider that way. Fisheye mirrors. Okay. So what is it that we really, really need? We need to know what is on the handlebars. Every motorcycle, like I said, has handlebars. It has a gas tank, usually, unless it's electric. But then it has a seat, has mirrors, has headlight, it has all those things. So go on your motorcycle or go to a dealership and see if you can name every single thing on these handlebars. So go do that. Touch a motorcycle. Not like that.